The World Cup is nearly upon us. I repeat, the World Cup is nearly upon us. It is almost time. In 16 days, the World Cup will start. And guess who is playing in the opening game? Ecuador. La Tricolor will open the tournament against Qatar in, I think it's at the Al Bayt Stadium in Al Khor, right? This is going to be a crazy tournament. I don't agree with the time of the year. So, however, this video is about Ecuador. If you do not know, I am an Ecuador fan. I'm from the Czech Republic, but my country's not in the World Cup. And therefore, I will be supporting Ecuador. They're sort of my second fiddle team after my home country. I've been supporting them for a while now. Long time. Them and Colombia, who are also not in the tournament. So that is quite sad. Two of my three sort of favourite teams are not in the World Cup. However, we have Ecuador, and these guys, I mean, I've been watching them in CONMEBOL qualifying, and they are the real deal. Trust me when I say this, they can go to the quarterfinals of this World Cup easily. Can definitely happen, right? And that is actually the question of this video. How far can Ecuador go in the World Cup? That is the title, that is what we're going to be talking about here, right? Now, Ecuador's group consists of Qatar, Senegal, and the Netherlands. Their first game is Qatar. It is the opening game of the tournament, and I am so hyped for it. We're going to discuss the lineup, the potential lineup that Ecuador are going to go for, where we think they'll finish, and just talk about the squad, really, right? Because this is a young team, very, very young team, right? And they've got a lot of potential. With Gustavo Alfaro as manager, La Tricolor are the real deal. I'm telling you, they can surprise some people here because nobody is backing this team for anything, right? Beat Colombia 6-1 in qualifying. I was half laughing, half crying. Yeah. Drew to Argentina, drew to Brazil, beat Uruguay, mate. These guys' results have been amazing. The fans are passionate. The country is up for it. They love football. And let's discuss the squad, right? My starting 11, if I was the Ecuador manager. In goal, I'd probably select... The thing is, I'd probably select either Dominguez or Galindez. Alexander Dominguez, he's 35. He was at the World Cup in 2014 where I first watched Ecuador, and that's sort of, yeah, I remember them from then. Alexander Dominguez, he might be starting. I don't know whether I'd choose him or Hernan Galindez, who plays in the Chilean league, right? One of them two. And then we have the young Wellington Moises Ramirez, who's doing really, really well. However, he is a little bit error-prone, and he is still 22. So he is the future. I'd probably select, I don't know. Yeah, you know what? Chuck Hernan Galindez in there. I like Dominguez, but I think I'll go for Hernan Galindez. Put it on the screen. At right back, this is a tough one again, because if we go for a 4-4-2, we could potentially go for, I'm gonna keep saying we as in Ecuador, even if I'm not Ecuadorian, okay? Deal with it. I'm a fan. We could use Preciado at right back and Byron Castillo at a right mid if we're going 4-4-2. However, the team I've gone with, I think we should play a 4-3-3 personally. Especially in the opening game. Let's make it for the opening game. And I've got Byron Castillo at right back. I think this guy, he could show up at this tournament. He is one of their most attacking players. His crossing, and he's a real threat going forward. Preciado, more defensive, but I'd go Castillo. Centre-halves, I'd go for Hincapié, for sure, as one of them from Bayer Leverkusen. Just what a talent, 20-year-old. And with him, it's between Robert Arboleda, who I believe is injured right now, right? He's more experienced. Felix Torres, who is 25 years old. Again, a bit of a goal threat, plays for Santos in the Mexican League. And then we have Jackson Porozo, who plays for Troyes in the French League. And that is actually who I've gone for, Porozo. He is 22. So, very young centre-back partnership with Castillo, who's 23, I believe, at the right back as well. And the left back is Pervis Estupiñán, and he's 24. So very young team, right? Estupiñán made a great start to life in the Premier League, I think, has been one of Brighton's sort of most attacking players. He's a real creator, and he'll be the left back. Centre mids, no doubt about it, banker Moises Caicedo. 20-year-old, I want Liverpool to sign him. The guy's an absolute tank, right? Beast of a player, and he will be one to watch out for at this tournament. I think he's the best centre mid in Group A, okay? And he will be partnering, most likely, Carlos Gruezo, and I'd agree with that, from Augsburg. I think he's a safe bet for the national team, you know, makes no mistakes on the ball, plays in the Bundesliga. And with them, then it starts getting difficult. Do you go for Sarmiento, who's like 19, or Alan Franco? I've gone for a 23-year-old Jose Cifuentes. He has not been on his best form recently. However, when he's in form for LAFC in the MLS, he is crazy, right? Like, he went on a run and was absolutely crazy. His form's dropped off a little bit now, but I would still go for Cifuentes. I think he's quite attacking, quite a good player, right? And then we have a front three. Okay, on the left, I'd go for one of my favourite players to watch. He's super quick, super flary, plays for Pachuca, right? Romario Ibarra. This guy is special, right? Just the pace on him, okay? He can tear defenders apart, right? Plays for Pachuca in the Mexican League, and I'd say he's the best left winger in Ecuador. On the right, we'd go for a man who hasn't started well at all in La Liga for Real Valladolid. However, I think that for the Ecuadorian national team, he's going to be absolutely fantastic. And the pace, the flair, the trickery, and his ability to put in a finish as well, Gonzalo Plata is going to be the right winger, right? No doubt about it. He will definitely start. I think Alfaro will 100% pick him. And up front, then it's a choice between Mikel Estrada for Cruz Azul. I mean, he's there on loan. I don't know if I'm utterly convinced by him. Or the man that I'm going to pick. For Fenerbahce, he's been on a supreme run of form recently. He was there in 2014, scored 3 goals at the tournament. Enner Valencia will be my striker. The team's up on the screen, and this is the team I'd go for the opening game against Qatar, right? I think that Ecuador can use... They're a very fast team. They're very tough to break down. And I think that maybe with a bit of luck, they can potentially go further into this competition, because I'm telling you, the likes of Enner Valencia, 11 goals and 4 assists for Fenerbahce in the league this year, right? He's a target man, you know, he's tall. Well, he's not actually tall, but he wins headers a lot, so he must have a good jump on him. He can play on the wing as well. If we go to a 4-4-2, I'd maybe drop Cifuentes, go Preciado at right back, Castillo at right mid, and go Plata and Valencia up front together. And maybe, who knows, in a 4-4-2, you could even make a case to drop Romario Ibarra and play Diego Palacios from LAFC, who has played at left mid before, but is predominantly a left back. He will be the backup to Estupiñán. I think that he can come on late in games as a left mid as well. He's very, very good player. Also young, right? So it's going to be interesting to see what this team can do. But I rate them. By the way, I just realised it's Enner Valencia's birthday today. So happy birthday, Enner. And get training for the World Cup. I will give you my predictions now of the group games, okay? Ecuador versus Qatar. I believe that Ecuador will beat Qatar 2-1. I think Qatar will score first, and then Ecuador will come back and win 2-1. Ecuador against Netherlands. I think that Ecuador versus Netherlands will be 1-1. I don't see us losing to the Dutch just because of how good the defence is. And Gustavo Alfaro will... I mean, he's just a fantastic manager, gets his teams drilled so well. And then the third game against Senegal, I'm predicting that Ecuador will draw to Senegal 1-1 again and go through to the knockout rounds of the World Cup. There you go. That is my predictions of the group stage. You'll see when I do my official predictions, loads of more World Cup content coming soon. Predictions, potentially kits, potentially like ranking best and worst players from each team and stuff. It's going to be crazy. I can't wait for the World Cup. And Ecuador, we'll see what they do, basically. But they're a team that everyone's underestimating. And they're quick, They're smart. Some of them are a little bit hot-headed, but I rate this team, and I think that it can potentially surprise a lot of people in Qatar. Everyone's eyes is going to be on that opening game, Qatar versus Ecuador. And in my predictions, I said Ecuador would win. Anyway, I will now show you my team of the week for the last round of Premier League games. It is on the screen right now. Marcus Rashford in there. You know, no Liverpool players, obviously, because it was a little bit of a disaster. Kevin De Bruyne in there. Look at it for yourself, and I'll see you guys soon.